back, everybody. Good to see you back again, all fresh-faced, all excited. I was actually going to be making a video about the truth of goth music, the truth behind goth music, and therefore exposing the subculture itself. But this actually fell right into my lap, so we're gonna go through this today. Couldn't stop laughing about it. Here it is. It's right there. You don't have to memorize any of this stuff, because I'm gonna go through it for you, step by step, and make it look really stupid. So starting with the first statement here. I dare you to be proud, to dare to shout aloud for convictions that you feel. Bauhaus, double dare. Thank you, Bauhaus, I will. I will have conviction in the things that I say out loud. You can't change the world, but you can change the facts. And when you change the facts, you change points of view. When you change points of view, you may change a vote. And when you change the vote, you may change the world. Phew, great stuff. Except changing facts is called lying when there's a fact that exists and it hurts your feelings and you change it. It's called lying. Alternative facts. It's called lying. Look, facts don't care about your feelings, okay? Facts are there for a reason. They're factual. They are backed up by data, statistics. A fact by its definition is absolute. You wear your fascist views like a Ku Klux hood. Then you act like you've been misunderstood. This is not your playground. We don't want you around. This is Susie Sabotage, Nazi Goths. F*** off. Good words. Yeah, it's good to put that in there. You know, having fascism around, I guess, is a bad thing. You know, a single party obeying a singular strict set of rules. The problem is, though, Susie, is that none of you know what fascism is. You see, you keep using words like Nazi and fascism to describe people who just make you look foolish. Point out things like facts, things that you don't like. Because facts don't care about your feelings, and neither do we. So you seek to change the facts. The fact is, I'm not a Nazi. In fact, none of us are. Maybe Gypsy Crusader. In fact, I think self-admittedly he is. So this is what you're doing. You're changing the facts so that you can feel more justified in your violent rhetoric. Your disgusting, unbridled hatred of all those that dare oppose the authoritarian regime that has since infiltrated alternative subcultures. But you're right, yes, this is not your playground. We don't want you around, to quote yourself there, Susie. That's why ICE is working overtime. These places are not your playground. Get out. Get out. I am factually not a Nazi. They are factually here illegally. Get out. Economics, Reaganomics, birth control, the status quo, shooting rockets to the moon, kids growing up too soon, and the politicians say, and it continues on there, love and rockets, bowl of confusion. Confusion indeed. It's not saying what this person thinks. It's actually saying, kids growing up too soon, you're going to, you, as a liberal, as a leftist, are going to bring that up to me? Bold. Last time I checked, it wasn't fascist right-wingers trying to get into schools to manipulate children into a specific cult with insane, extreme gender ideology to confuse children so that you can indoctrinate them into your militia, known as Antifa, which is apparently not organized. More gaslighting, it is. Leftist psychopaths are very well documented in trying to groom children with radical gender ideologies and promote chemical castration of children. Reaganomics. How about Bidenomics? I'll do one better. Birth control. How about 27% of Gen Z being aborted? We wish you'd use birth control. Hint. Abortion isn't birth control. If Donald Trump actually does become president, I don't think I could keep quiet if that happened, says Andrew Eldritch. But I bet you were quiet, Andrew, especially when Trump managed to get a ceasefire between Hamas and the IDF. Yes, a lot of you were quiet about that. Trump did that, by the way. You're welcome. What happened to the female hostages? Anyone know? What did Hamas do with the female hostages? Did they get late checkout? They stand for an extra couple of days or something? Let me know in the comments where they are. You want a war of attrition. You want a seat at the table. Do you want their lives or do you want their lives? Nox novacular revenge. See, now the war of attrition refers to the war in the Middle East between several Arab countries, mainly Egypt, I think, who could not come to an agreement with Israel at the time. Eventually, I think towards the end of the 70s, maybe 1970, they actually did agree on a ceasefire. And then the Islamic country of Egypt was still moving artillery anyway. But you pro-Hamas dipshits, you guys were whipped up into a frenzy at the very beginning of 2019, around there, 2018, 2019, under the Biden era. Biden had a lot of time to fix that. I think a guy set himself on fire. I think 2 did. Trump fixed it. So, all right. Blessed are the children in their sights, even when they beg to not die of starvation. Sounds like a prayer. Sounds a bit like a prayer. Vision Video. See, I had to do a little bit of research into Vision Video. It's a gospel website, I think. Which now makes sense, actually, why that's a prayer. I don't know why they've quoted a religious Christian gospel website here. On to Israel. Oh, little orphans in snow with nowhere to call home. Susie and the Banshees with their song Israel. That's a Christmas song. It's a Christmas song. Seriously, they just wanted to get a Christmas hit out in time. So they actually wrote this on the road, which is not characteristic for them at all, for their writing process. Because capitalism, right? Get those Christmas album sales out, those Christmas single sales. I mean, ask Mariah Carey, that shit pays out every single year. But don't take my word for it. Let's see what Susie has to say about it, shall we? No, it's not about religion. It's more general. A disillusioned person or a whole race who have ceased to understand or believe in what they held to be the truth. Isn't that applicable? Tries to put across, you shouldn't cover what you feel inside by teaching or attitudes imposed on you. It emphasizes the strength of the individual. This was said back in 1981. It's quite interesting that she says that. Susie, what have I been preaching this entire time? Good to see that Susie backs me up here. But it's just a Christmas song. However, if you do want a political Susie song, which I'm amazed you didn't use it, Arabian Nights, that's a political song about the Middle East. Israel is actually just a Christmas song. Susie said it herself. However, Arabian Nights, about the Islamic practice of mutilating female genitalia and various other customs that Islam has enforced. You should have quoted that, actually, if you wanted to get, political here. Major missed opportunity, maybe something about not suiting a narrative, probably. Everything that people produce is, in some sense, a social product, and everyone who contributes to the production of a good is entitled to a share in it. This is Robert Smith, advocating for communism, apparently. But it's ironic he says this, since The Cure are famously very strict with the usage of their songs, very strict with the copyright. Isn't that right, Ice? Not quite a social product in that case, I guess. But then again, that is quite common in things like socialism and communism. Everything for everyone. No, not my shit. Not my shit. Everyone else's. Now, it's not to be denied, worthy of this joy, how promising the possibility you were made to be yourself. Peter Murphy in Eliza. More warm words of encouragement from Peter. Thanks, man. It's always good when you realize exactly who you are, born to be yourself. I do thrive being more authentic, no longer surrounded by woke retards at YouTube events. I wrote that down. Now you need to understand, and maybe Peter can back me up here, and if not Peter Murphy, then maybe this Peter. Maybe he could, actually. Being yourself means many different things. Some of the things you can't or won't agree with, but they're there. Goth is the unification of these diverse individuals, diverse of mentality, not skin color. It's meant to unite all these incredibly different individuals, these different people, under one subculture where they can share a common interest in things that are cool, dark, awesome shit, regardless of what you believe. Christian says everyone's to love him. Christian says just let go. Christian says you can't be happy being this way. Tones on tail, Christian says. Well, let me try. I actually wrote down my own little cover of this song. Leftist says to love they, them. Leftist says just let go of your children. Leftist says you can't be goth and conservative. The prejudice and fear that Trump has tapped into for his own ends is just lamentable. I can't stand that motherfucker, says a guy called David J. Haskins. They're just teeing me up for this stuff, dude. Biden wokeism literally cultivated an entire generation of leftards that are shooting people that they don't agree with. You're beating people up, you're doxing people, you're keying cars, you're shooting motherfuckers. You want to talk about prejudice and fear? Look no further than leftists, okay? Sisters gegen Nazis, says Andrew Eldritch. If you don't know what gegen means, I'm mispronouncing that most likely. It means Sisters of Mercy against Nazis. But in case you haven't noticed, because I think you have, because I think it may have gone way over your heads, the problem are not Nazis. No, a Nazi didn't do that. Or this. Or these. If a woman is walking home, okay, you tell me, ladies, since, you know, you love to just talk about yourselves and your victimhood all the time. If you're walking home late one night from a bar in the middle of a populated city that is thoroughly multicultural, like, oh, I don't know, London maybe, who are you most worried about popping up, dragging you into a dark alley so that he can show you his Pokemon card collection? Who is it? Is it a Nazi? Is it? Are your rape whistles, pepper spray, and your Second Amendment all to stop a Nazi at any given moment? No. No, they're not. Nazis are not the problem. They haven't been the problem for quite some time. In fact, I think this might just be a lingering of the post-war culture that was from the 1970s, the late 70s. That was a long time ago. Nazis have not been a problem for quite some time. They're not the problem. Are you happy in denial? Are you happy being blind? Love turned to vanity, truth turned hypocrisy. We were the real thing, now we are nothing. London after midnight, America's a disease, he says. Oh, do you know what? Ironically, it sounds like he's singing about the ignorant left, doesn't it? Unwilling to acknowledge the true dangers and problems that need to be fixed, like ethnic minorities, stabbing white people. America is a disease. Then why is everyone going there, man? People put a lot on the line to go there. Yeah. People even put their kids' safety on the line. Their entire family. They put everything on the line, man, by going there illegally, risking being deported and separated from their kids. I'll tell you how you can avoid that entirely, okay? If you guys don't like seeing families getting ripped apart by ICE and deportation and remigration, there's a really easy way to stop that from ever happening. You don't make the decision to go to a country illegally. It starts with you, man. It really does. See, ICE are just the consequences, okay? They're not the instigators. They are the consequences of some really poor decisions. America's a disease. It's amazing. You go to Africa. It's a great continent. There's loads of countries there. They might actually try and see if you can fly if they figure out that you're gay. Just an encouraged leap of faith off the edge of a building. You have no idea what the you're talking about, okay? If you're able to say shit like that and you get a woo from champagne socialists, you're the problem, okay? Go anywhere else. They're banning books and they're taking our rights, so f me. There's no liberty, justice for all, not at all, but we'll make it together. Just remember who you are. Ashes fallen, remember who you are. Which books have been banned? Can you tell me this really quick? Do you know what they mean by books being banned? They're being banned from schools, you retards. You can still get the books. Amazon, bookstores, hell, even libraries maybe. It's just schools they're being banned from. Of course you would ban gender confusion studies and LGBTQ stories and all this leftist propaganda. Of course you would take that out of schools. That's not even the top reason for books being banned from schools. It's actually violence and murder. It's violence and murder, actually. Those are the biggest reasons why books get banned. Hey man, there's this alternative things about my lifestyle, but I wouldn't want to put those in books in schools. Like, why would I want to get to the kids? Why is it so important for me to get my lifestyle implanted into a child, indoctrinate them to turn out like me? Why would I want to do that? I don't have an agenda. Neither do you, apparently. Is that more gaslighting? We've been gaslit again? There's no agenda? Put your books in schools, you say? Interesting. But you are right, there is no justice for all. Not when your liberal judges are letting out rapey McStabby over and over and over and over again. Do you know who's most affected by this stuff, by the way? Do you? I've heard it before. Hard to ignore when it feels like the end of the world. When you see the dark clouds moving in, you say, rain is coming, and so it is. When the desert wind blows, you say, it'll be hot, and it is. All of us can read the signs of sky and earth. How is it then we can't read the signs of the times? Chameleons. Feels like the end of the world. This is ambiguous at best. This is a bit of a stretch, this one. This is ambiguous at the very best. And a remark about the truly damaging effect wokeism has had on every aspect of modern civilization at most. This was a post on Reddit called Goth is Anti-Fascist. It's also pro-stupid. Oh God, it's so easy. Do you know why it's so easy? Do you know why this is so easy for me? It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Do you know why? It's because no one has ever stood up to them, ever. They've never been questioned, they've never been debated, which is why they don't. They've never been held accountable, they've never had to explain themselves, they've never been contended, and because of this, their points are pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. They have no idea how to defend themselves because there is no way to do it. They've been told that they're stunning and brave this entire time. By everybody, the media mainly. This is what I'm saying, man. People are political, not the subculture itself. You find it everywhere. What differentiates Goth from anything else? You find woke leftist politics in everything these days. So what defines Goth? What makes it different? Oh, that's right. Literally everything else about the subculture. See what I mean? There's no consistent political message whenever it comes to the original Goth subculture. It was never about that kind of stuff. In fact, it was the perfect way to get away from politics. If you didn't want your gay identity, your gender identity being politicized and argued over and manipulated for votes and stuff, then you could go to a goth club where no one would reference your gender, your sexuality, your political beliefs, your home life, your religion. It wasn't about that kind of stuff. It wasn't about checking people at the door to see if they agree with you or if they agree with the rules of the club. It was about getting away from all of that. Swaying your jackets. Dancing to some music. For the majority, songs that were about nothing. Having sex. Breaking up. Getting lost in a forest. It was about everything, okay? But the common core theme was the black, was the dark, the macabre, the vampires, the Frankenstein, the Mary Shelleys, Bram Stoker's, cinema, grief, art, literature. It was all these things. So get your heads out of your asses, okay? Goth is not just an extension of Antifa. Shut the up. You don't get to come in here and tell people what to do. That's called conformity. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget, I'm going on tour. Link is down below if you want to come see me play in your town. See you guys later.